Hey everyone, and welcome to this special episode of On a Water Break, the podcast where we talk about everything you and your friends are talking about at rehearsal on a water break. This week, I am hosting by myself, but I'm going to be checking in with our DCI correspondents to see how they are acclimating back to life as civilians after an incredible tour.
Eight off the mat and go.
Welcome to On a Water Break, the podcast where we talk everything marching arts.
Everyone, bring it in. It's time for a water break.
First, we're going to start off with our newest correspondent who joined a little bit late in the game, but as he joined from last year's world champions, the Bluecoats, we're going to go ahead and let that slide. Here's my interview with Davis J. Hey guys, so this is Jackie here, and we are back with another one of our DCI correspondents. This time it's Jay, who just got home from the Bluecoats. Davis, hey.
Hey.
So yeah, I totally was like, oh, no problem. It's Davis J, and yet I've been back and forth all season calling you Davis or calling you Jay. So I am glad to know now that you go by Davis. So how are you feeling today? How are you feeling being home?
It's really great. It's good to be with the family after being away from them for 3 or 4 months or whatever. And it's nice to finally be able to relax a little bit.
Are you doing anything to keep your chops up now that DCI World Championships is over?
Oh, yeah. I'm sitting here. I got a pad right next to my chair. So whenever I'm sitting in this chair, I'm probably drumming for the most part. Except for right now, I say.
Well, drumming or talking about drumming, I feel like it all kind of is in the same wheelhouse.
Yeah. Yeah. Preparing for the WGI season too. So that's kind of
Where are
why.
you marching for WGI?
Redline. It's in Michigan, world-class group. Seeing some cool changes there. So I'm excited to go back.
Excellent, excellent. So you were at Bluecoats, and we didn't get to do the preseason chat with you like got to do with some of the others. How, how did it go about that you got involved with Bluecoats? Tell us about that sort of process. And was this your first year, or are you a veteran member? How did that go?
Yeah, so I'm a veteran. I marched in 24 and this past season, obviously, and then next year will be my age out. So I got into Bluecoats because I discovered the activity back in 2019, where my family brought me to. I'm from Indiana, so they brought me to the drum corps like finals in Indy back in 2019, and we didn't go see performances or anything, but I was just in the lots, just walking around, seeing all the drum lines and stuff. And I've always been a drummer, so I was walking around. They thought that I would think it would be cool, and I was walking around watching all the drum lines, and they were all cool. And I went up to the Bluecoats, and I just couldn't help but stay there. Like before I was walking around and I was like, oh, all these groups are sweet. Like I love this drumline thing. I want to do this. And then I saw the Bluecoats and I was like, that's the group that I want to do. It was the coolest thing I'd ever seen. Like they were having fun, but they were executing so well. And it was like just the way that they were vibing in that warm-up lot, I was like, yeah, that's the group that I want to do. So I started auditioning the next year, and so since 2020 I've been auditioning for the Bluecoats, and I finally made it in 2024.
That is some awesome persistence. And did you march anywhere before Bluecoats?
Nope, never. Other than Redline for WGI, but that's a little different.
But still, I mean, you're working on your chops and making sure you're improving your technique constantly.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Do you feel like you're creating that experience now for future drummer children?
I hope so. Yeah, I think that we are. There's a lot of like in the warm up lots and stuff, like there'll be fans that come up to see us and they'll like tell us how cool it is. And it's like it's cool to see that because it's like that's what I was when I was, watching Bluecoats 2019 in the warm up lot. And so it's like cool to see those kids now doing that to us. So
Awesome. So what is sort of your favorite memory from this summer? You feel like just something that's going to like stick with you for the rest of your life? I know
that's a
drum
good
corps is full of
question.
them.
Yeah, there's a lot, but there's one that sticks out to me where in the moment it sucked a lot, but it was at the Boston home show. We were in I forget what city, but it was around Boston, Massachusetts, and it got super rained out. but we still went and did a standstill performance and just played some like fun little tunes. And it was pouring rain, and we were getting soaked, and our drums kind of got ruined a little bit. And in the moment, we were like, "Oh my gosh, it's so wet!" Especially like transitional. Like we were transitioning to the stadium, and it was like a 10-minute walk, just walking in the rain. But then we got to the stadium and we started performing, and it was the coolest thing ever. There was people there that didn't even know what drum corps was. They just like saw it was happening and they walked in. And the crowd was full of people. We were just jamming out in the on the field. We didn't do our show, obviously, but it was super fun in the moment. But then like walking back and forth between our bus and the stadium kind of sucked. But now that I look back, I'm like, oh, okay, that was one of the coolest things that I've ever done.
And that's like completely like you're not going to recreate that. Like it's just not going to happen quite
No,
like that ever
no.
again.
Yeah. Yeah, it was that's something that I'll remember forever for sure.
That's awesome. So logistically, what are some of the differences, like what are some of the adjustments you guys make for weather whenever it comes to drum corps? Because I know like so like when I marched, there was this seriously like, no, we're hardcore, it's raining, we don't care, we're gonna get out there. And that wasn't always the smartest choice. So what are some
Yeah.
of the adjustments that drum corps make whenever this sort of thing happens when there's weather?
Most of the time it just happens in rehearsal. Very rarely does like a show get rained out or stormed out or anything. It does happen though. But in rehearsal, like for the Bluecoats, we do spring training in Ohio. So Ohio rains pretty much every day over spring training, which kind of
Yeah.
but
Every year for
what we
WGI.
do yeah. Yeah. What we do when it rains is, at least for the drum line, because our drums, if they get wet, they'll start to rust and kind of warp and get destroyed. So we can't really let the drums get wet too much. So we go and rehearse inside, and we just do standstill, like learning music or cleaning stuff like that. And then for lightning, we have a medical team, and they normally let us know what's going on with weather and stuff. So if there's lightning, we have to go seek shelter immediately for at least 30 minutes. And for when it's like extremely hot and everybody's like dying, we have to have a 5 minute break every 30 minutes or a 10-minute break every hour. I'm pretty sure is how they do it, like a shade break and a water break and stuff. So they treat us
Yeah.
pretty well in terms of like crazy weather conditions. And then obviously, if there's ever like a crazy like tornado warning, which we had one this summer, we just go inside and chill for a while because you can't really rehearse, obviously.
So do you have you don't get tornadoes very much in Indiana, do you?
No, not really.
Was that a scary experience then getting to like having to be out there with tornado warning going on?
It was for a minute. It was like, yeah, this is kind of scary because you would look outside and it was like super dark in the middle of the day, and you're like, oh, these clouds are kind of scary looking. But at the same time, it's fun. Like you're with all your friends and you're just like you're in drum corps and you finally get like a little bit of a break. You're like, okay, I get to just chill, even though there's some crazy stuff happening outside. I'm inside and I'm safe, and I get to just relax for a bit.
Yeah, I think that was one of the top videos that you sent in and we posted on our social media was whenever you guys were just chilling during that tornado, people were watching that video like crazy.
That's funny. I don't even remember where it was. I forget what state we were in, but it was yeah, that was a crazy. That's another memory that I'll remember for probably a while.
Yep, I remember marching during a tornado in Nebraska. It was at the stadium
Mm.
in Nebraska, the Cornhusker Stadium. So, yeah, that will stick with you forever. It's been a long time since I marched, so that
Mm.
memory will stick with you forever. So, how was it this year being a vet for the first time versus last year as a rookie? What are some of the sort of differences in the experience just from having already had a season under your belt?
These seasons were definitely different for me in terms of like my experience. So like in 24, it was stressful as a first year member, but it was also really exciting just because I was like, okay, I finally get to do the Bluecoats. But also, it was like stressful because I'm like, I don't really know what I'm getting into. I've never done drum corps before. Like, I don't know how hard this is going to be, and I've heard that it's really hard. And then I get to start doing it, and I'm like, yeah, this is really hard. And my body's like still like kind of getting acquainted with all the crazy stuff that you do. This year was a lot different, not only because I kind of like knew what to expect, so my body could handle it a lot better. And but also just like the mental strength you need to be able to do drum corps. Like I kind of like figured out all the things that I need to do to be able to handle that in 24, and then I was able to do it this year. And overall, it was just like a much easier, stress-free season. Not that there wasn't stressful times, but like compared to 24, like 24 was the most extreme emotions just because I like it was like the first time that I was away from my family, and it was the first time that I was doing this insanely hard thing, and then 25 was just like, all right, let's do it again. A lot easier for sure.
Knowing what to expect can definitely make it a lot easier. Did you do anything? I mean, I know you say you played a lot and you did winter drumline and so on. Is there anything that you did as far as like working out or like mindfulness exercises or anything like that to help prepare you for the season?
Yeah, so in 2024, they for fun a lot for the last few years, even before I started to do drum corps, and then I figured I should probably take it more seriously before the 2024 season. So I started to go like 4 or 5 times a week to kind of just build up the strength that I thought I needed, and it did help a lot. And then Bluecoats also they do I think they do Forte Athletics where they just have like this
Yeah.
preseason strength training stuff that they do, and it works a lot. I did that. But also like just doing your own like going to the gym and just do like walking on the treadmill or doing stairmaster or lifting weights or whatever. It goes a long way the more you're consistent with it. It definitely helps you, especially for like preseason, because it can take your body a lot of time to get used to the strain that you put on it in drum corps. Like but if you're kind of putting that strain and like easing yourself into to the season, then you get to spring training and you're kind of just ready for it from the start.
Are there any other fun or memorable stories that you want to share from your season?
Kind of on the same topic, actually, we in spring training, me and some of my friends on the snare line, not every night just because it's drum corps and it's hard, but as much as we had the motivation, we there was a gym in the field house that we would sometimes rehearse in at the college that we go or that we do spring training in. So at night after rehearsal, sometimes we would go to the gym just to like lift weights for a little bit, just kind of for fun. And then there's a gas station right next to the campus, and we would always go to the gas station and get like a late night snack or drink or something. And that was kind of just like our nightly routine.
That sounds like an excellent way to blow off steam, honestly, because I feel like going home and like trying just doing more of the same, more playing and such, and more marching would be exhausting. And you don't really want to do anything else. But man, if you could just lift weights and sort of let your mind go, that's great.
Yeah, it was cool because like in drum corps, it's so like I'm just doing drum corps. And then it was cool, like even just going to a gas station, it's like, oh, there's a little bit of freedom. Like I feel like I'm just normal life right now. So it's like it takes you out of the moment for a little bit and gives you a little break from doing drum corps so much, you know?
So, what advice would you have for anybody else who really wants to join the Bluecoats like you wanted to, like who's just absolutely dead set, like Bluecoats is my core specifically? Like, what would be your advice to them moving forward? How should they attack that?
Sure. So the easiest answer is start auditioning as soon as you can because it's a great experience. Like what I did, like I think my first audition I was 15 for the Bluecoats, and obviously I went in, I wasn't like trying to make it or anything. I just went so I could learn like how do you do all the things that the Bluecoats does, and they do a great job at letting you know how to do all that. So they set you up like a nice foundation to keep building on. So auditioning as soon as you can is really going to help because I think you can audition like I mean you can at least audition when you're 15 like I did, but you can probably audition even younger than that. So that's going to take you a long way, especially like if you treat it as like a learning experience rather than like a stressful like oh my gosh I'm auditioning I'm scared, you know, like
Right.
it's a really good experience, and all the membership in the Bluecoats are like they're really outgoing, and they're gonna do their best not to like intimidate you or anything, help you out throughout the audition process and stuff. So That's the best answer I can give is just put yourself out there. It can be scary because it's such a big step, but it's really fun once you do it. And that's what I did.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Davis. And I have enjoyed thoroughly getting to live vicariously through all of your social media posts. It's been really fun. And yeah, good luck with your age out next year and everything else.
Thank you.
Okay, well, we're going to go over here because Davis promised to show me a Bluecoats name on the trophy from last year. We'll be right back after this.
Celebrating its 25th anniversary, Guard Closet was founded as a consignment shop in 2000. Since then, it has grown to become your one-stop shop for the marching arts.
Do you need consignment uniforms and flags for your color guard, marching band, or drumline? We have thousands of sets of consignments in stock and ready to ship.
Do you need show design and custom choreography? Our designers have years of experience in the marching arts.
Do you need to sell your items and clear out your storage areas? We take in more than 600 sets of consignments each year and return hundreds of thousands of dollars to our consigners for their sales.
Do you need to have your students order shoes, gloves, and other equipment? We can set up a microsite for easy student ordering of a wide variety of items.
Do you need custom costumes or flags? We can help get you great designs from our team through top vendors like Show Day Designs.
Have you listened to our podcast On a Water Break? Weekly episodes and bonus content keep you entertained and informed with what's going on in the marching arts.
For over 25 years, Guard Closet has been here to help. Check us out at guardcloset.com or follow us on social media.
Now, you may have seen him guest hosting our podcast a number of times, and there is just something about Carolina Crown as a fan favorite. Stay tuned and listen to my check-in with Omari. Hey, Omari, it's so nice to see you back and off of tour. How has life been?
Good. Very, very slow compared to what I was doing before, like on tour, obviously, but yeah, it's been fine. I've been doing a lot of reading, which has been fun. Usually, I didn't read before tour, but I decided to pick it up because I have so much time before school starts.
Nice. So you didn't have to like jump off the bus and like run right into band camp or anything like that?
No, my university doesn't have a marching band. And then as well, we don't start school till September, like mid-September. So I've just been really bored.
Just hanging out and hanging with your new roommates and everything? You said something about moving out? You're like living in a new place now and
Yeah. So for like, at least right now, I'm going to be living here. And then come like breaks and stuff like that. Or if I decide like, oh, I can just go back to live with my parents and things are too expensive, I'll just do that. But yeah, trying something new out with a few friends right now.
that's great. Do your friends know what a celebrity you are in the drum corps world?
Yeah, they actually came to finals. So also, they were also making me feel very celebrity-like.
That's amazing though. How did it feel? Like how do you feel about your whole season in a nutshell? Like
Well, yeah, the season itself was great. I love performing that show. Like, especially towards the end when people were like, wait, hold on, the new ending? Like, people were going crazy for a new ending and whatnot. But yeah, that show was really hard. Especially because, like, we were moving and, like, playing on the move for a lot of it. And it's easier for, like, me personally, it's easier for me to, like, catch my breath while moving and doing choreo. When I have the horn on the face, like, I have to breathe a certain way,
oh yeah.
you know? So, yeah, that was the only hard part of the show, but it got me really ripped towards the end.
The only hard part was where you had to play and also march and do everything at the same time. That makes sense. That's perfect sense.
Yeah. I mean, the rest of it, like, oh no, the props. Oh my God. Oh my, the props were a nightmare.
Just
like
size or
yeah, because they were just huge. And then also, we found out as we got to show sites that they didn't fit in like most show sites. So we had to take them down and like wheel them one way. Where like at Nashville, actually, the Pro Stadium, we had to fully disassemble it and fully reassemble it piece by piece on the field and then go on. That was the one time we had to do that fully disassemble because the prop crew would get to the show site early and then they would like build it up. And then that site we had to fully disassemble it afterwards. There was another show where like we almost hit the power lines trying to transport our props. So
Oh my gosh, no.
at finals it was weird. Like just finals week it was weird because we had to carry it in what we call Ozempic mode, where it's like we turn the pieces so it's like it goes like this rather than that. And then like
Okay.
we had to take a piece and then build it up in the end zone and then just push on. Yeah, those props were kind of
Like we kind of talked about some challenges. So what's some of your like favorite memories from this year? What just made you feel like an absolute boss on the field?
the Allentown regional. That crowd is usually very hard to please. That's what we say because it's like that crowd knows drum corps, you know. That's like
right.
The drum corps crowd, and they'll only cheer for what's like deserved to be cheered for. And we got a pretty early standing ovation because that was the night we had the new ending, and the ending before that was like people were saying that it wasn't great. So that new ending, I don't think they were ready for it. So that was great, just seeing like the wave of people stand up while I'm still like running across the field. I think another favorite memory was, I think it was after the show at War Memorial. There was like these two young ladies that were like, they were just like, they had just started playing. I think one of them played trombone. They had just started playing, and like they were just talking about how in awe they were of seeing how we moved on the field and whatnot. And I think a lot of my favorite memories was from talking to people after shows when they're like, "Oh, when you guys did this and this and this," and I'm like, "Oh, I forget that what we do is actually cool, and it's not just like it's not just do this, rehearse this again, do this again."
Yeah, you can get a little disillusioned when you're on the road, especially if you have like a whole bunch of like rehearsal days all in a row before you have another show again.
Yeah, there was multiple points where it's like we'd have a show and then have a week with no show, or like 5 days with no show, and then we just like rehearse. But yeah, there was a few times where I was like, I got disconnected from how cool it is sometimes.
So how did this year compare to last year for you guys? Do you feel like it was like harder work, easier, like more fun show, more serious show? What do you feel like the comparison is like?
In comparison to last year, well, I mean, overall we scored lower, but from, I guess, the things I can control, it was a lot harder visually of a show, which was, yeah, there was, as I mentioned before, we were moving like a lot. Right. I think it was like 8 minutes of our show we were moving and playing as an ensemble. And then the brass book itself was a little bit easier than last year comparison. But that also gave us the opportunity to achieve it better. Because, yeah, last year, and we also didn't have a brass feature this year because we were playing for so much. We didn't have like a set in, like everyone cuts out just brass this year, which I honestly, like, I was kind of a fan of it because I kind of just like, if I could march 2010's DCI, I would, just because, you know, they're moving and playing. So I'm kind of a fan of that and not just like the stand still, do something hard while you're standing still.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I enjoyed performing this show a lot more than last year.
You're able to kind of sit back and enjoy it, though. Do you think also some of that, though, comes from experience? Like now you're more seasoned this season than you were last year.
Yeah, I think so. Especially because, I mean, I'm saying a lot of these things in retrospect, because if you had asked me last year, I would have said it's the best thing I've ever done. But yeah, definitely from experience. Yeah, I think you're very right. Definitely from experiences, especially like a lot better experience. Even though the scores weren't exactly what we wanted, it was still really fun.
And that's the thing, like scores aren't everything in this, you know, like yeah, the scores are going to tell you who's like at the peak of their game, but it's going to change. It's not, you know, it was Blue Devils for a really long time, and then now it hasn't been the Blue Devils. So, you know, it that part rotates with everybody, but I think the individual experience and like what you're doing is really, really valuable too. That existence of the activity as a whole.
And it's great, especially because I'm just getting this much better. Like, I'm getting so much better at my horn, and like, we do fundamentals every day. So like, my fundamentals are as strong as they could ever be right now.
Yeah.
And yeah, I always, even last year, I walked away from season last year and I was like, whoa, my fundamentals are just so much greater.
So how many more years do you have left?
I have one more. But this next season is my age out.
Awesome time. And you're planning on going back to Crown, or is that information yet to be divulged?
No, Crown all the way. And that is the only place I have auditioned, and I plan to stay there.
I love that. It's so refreshing to me, being somebody who came from a time when you had alliances to your drum corps. People were just starting to go to different corps whenever I was marching, just starting to be a different corps each season. And now it seems like everybody just does that, which it has its merits, but it is refreshing to see somebody who's just like, no, this is my home. This is where I'm going to stay.
Yeah. I'd be leaving so many people behind. I wouldn't want to do that.
It's true. It's true. You got your whole family in there. Well, Omari, thank you so much for your contributions this summer. And definitely we're going to keep an eye on your career as you move on. We're going to head over to a commercial break now, but we'll be back just shortly to check in on a couple more of our DCI correspondents. So see you later.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Omari. That was such a great experience you shared with us. And let me tell you guys something. It does not matter if you are marching a winning corps or a finalist or a semifinalist or whatever, or world class or open class. Marching DCI is going to be the best experience of your young life. As someone who marched both open and world before they were called open and world, I can tell you, you're going to work hard. You're going to have a great time. So if you are interested in marching, make sure you get out there. After this break, we're going to be talking to two more of our incredible DCI correspondents. So stick around.
Hi, everyone. It's time for your travel tip of the week with me. I'm Beth with Peak Group Travel. When you start reviewing the calendar for the dates for your next performance tour, avoiding major holidays is strongly recommended. Not only will you avoid longer lines at attractions, you could also save money by traveling during the off-season. Don't forget to like and follow Peak Group Travel on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn, and be sure to email info@peakgrouptravel.com when you are ready to start planning your next performance tour. I'm Beth with Peak Group Travel and your travel tip of the week. Ready to elevate your travel game? Welcome to Peak Group Travel, the ultimate adventure creators. Whether you're planning an unforgettable class trip, a once-in-a-lifetime parade experience for your marching band, or a choir tour full of memorable performance venues, Peak Group Travel handles it all, so you can focus on making memories. From breathtaking international destinations to amazing adventures right here at home, Peak Group Travel customizes every journey to your vision. We're not just planners, we're your partners for the trip you want for your students. Our online registration portal makes managing your pre-trip experience smooth and convenient. We even collect your payments if you'd like. Picture it, effortless planning, unmatched experiences, and smiles that last long after the journey ends. That's the Peak Group Travel difference. And if you choose to partner with Peak on your next tour, and you mention that you heard about us on the On a Water Break podcast, you'll earn a $100 trip credit. Discover why groups everywhere trust Peak Group Travel. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn, and be sure to visit peakgrouptravel.com today. You pick the date, and we'll make it great.
Hey guys, so I am sitting here with Clara and Jack from the Boston Crusaders. Hey guys.
Hi.
Hey. I'm so happy that you're here. First of all, I really appreciate you guys being our DCI correspondents for this summer, because I know it is so much work to try and remember to film stuff and edit and turn it in and all that all summer. But you guys were rock stars. So how did it go? Tell me about your summer. How do you feel, especially after winning? Oh my gosh.
It's pretty indescribable, and it's still like, what was it, 6 days ago? So it feels still hardly real, and it was like it's definitely the hardest season that I've done, and the hardest show that I've done. It was just like, I can't describe it. It's so hard to describe, like how many times we put on a new closer, and how many times we learned, how much we learned, and how fast we learned, and how many times we learned, and how frequently we would learn, and how much we would change, and how dynamic the rehearsal was. It was just all so exciting. And like, we would rehearse, make a change, and put it on, and then go perform it at the Rose Bowl, and people loved it, and then be excited about that performance for the whole night. And then we would go the next day, and we would edit these couple things and learn this few things really fast and clean it up, and then perform that in another show in California. And it was just like, watching people respond to how the show breathed and changed all summer was like my highlight.
I love that you talk about it like it's this living thing that's like growing and changing. That's amazing.
Yeah, like what Jack was saying, like until finals week, I never performed the same show twice. Like there was something that was changed or added or taken out, like between every single show. Like even the days where we had like 3 shows back to back, like there was something different in each one of those shows, just because the show was like constantly changing.
Mm-hmm.
That is incredible.
It's like that mindset where like if you're at the top and you want to stay at the top, you have to like keep structuring it. Yeah.
Building
you can't just like settle with one, because there's always something you can do to make something better. Like nothing's ever perfect.
So Jackie, so you've marched other drum corps before coming to Boston. Clara, did you march before Boston somewhere else?
I marched at Colts in 21 and 22, and I took the last 2 summers off.
Okay. So my question is, what was different from both of your perspectives this season with Boston versus like your previous seasons with other drum corps? Like what can other drum corps like take from what you guys did and like use to their advantage to help them like push further?
I would say difference that depends on what you value more, is good or bad, but whatever. For Blue Stars, I think they really like put emphasis on the like experience itself, and like the season as a like memory, or like making memories and like having experiences with your friends is like the priority there. And you can tell that they really like strive for like the best show at Boston. I can't explain like what I mean, because I just like did it and it's just like in my brain. But like the family at Blue Stars was super strong, and the Boston family is also super strong. But like I can feel the value at Blue Stars being like the companionship versus the value at Boston being like excellence, which is also fulfilling. Like I got fulfillment out of how close I got with all my friends at Blue Stars, and I got fulfillment out of like the success I got from Boston. So they're both very good things. It's just different. They approach things differently.
Okay. Clara, what do you think?
So when I was at Colts, it was when Colts hadn't made finals since like 2007 or something.
Wow.
This is a long time.
Yeah, we were very like fighting to make into finals. And so like we worked super hard, like insanely hard. We would, come back early from meal breaks, stay late, wake up early so we could unload the trucks, so we could get more rehearsal time kind of thing. I think at Boston, it's very much like everyone here is going to be good. And sometimes the extra little bit of sleep or extra downtime is like worth it. Like finals week, there were several times where we were doing like perk ensemble, and we would get held over by like a minute or so, and they would like give us back like 10-15 minutes of time. They'd be like, oh, sorry, we like cut into your lunch, here's like extra time. And so like they would give us like extended breaks. And like at Colts, it would have been like, oh yeah, we held you over, but it's because we were trying to make finals, and so come back early. I feel like Boston does a really good job of giving us free time and space to breathe, and really appreciated that.
That's awesome. That work ethic of like push physically harder, push further versus like, okay, now we're going to let you have that time to rest and rebuild
Yeah.
yourself. And then we're going to go and push even further. I feel like I could have used some of that whenever I was marching drum corps personally.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely was surprised by that because I kind of thought going into it that like because they were so high performing and the expectation was so high that like we would rehearse extra long and like we would get held over 5 minutes over and then come back right at the same time. Like, no, I just did not expect, like Heather would frequently, if we got out like 1 or 2 minutes late because we were working on finishing like a little project or something or making a change, she would have us come back at like, if we were supposed to end at 1 and we ended at 1:03, she would have us come back instead of at 2, would have us come back at like 2:15. And I was like very surprised by that. Or like if the walk from the food truck in the stadium to our indoor time, like if we were going from a stadium rehearsal to lunch to an indoor rehearsal after that, she would like have us come back inside at 2:20 instead of 2, just because like, which would end up benefiting how much we got done because no, we weren't all just done eating and just came inside and stopped sweating for 1 second and wiped our sweat off our brow. Like it was less time rehearsing, but it got more done because we were more ready to like.
Yeah, everyone's more motivated and locked in. Like I remember like after California tour, because we had a bunch of shows and then we had like a beach day and we had an LA day. We had like all this free time. We had like a laundry day here. And I remember after California tour, we're like, I want to rehearse. Like I rehearsed so long. I need a rehearsal day. And so like everybody wanted to rehearse. And that's like, and like, I don't know, everyone's like, oh, I wish we had a free day. At Boston, like everybody was like, why don't we have more rehearsal days? I need to rehearse.
Yeah.
Everyone's like wants to get better, you know?
Especially with California tour.
Oh yeah.
Like we were all over California and like every 2 days to every other day was something that was.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So what's just one of your favorite memories from tour? Something maybe that just stood out to you?
The Rose Bowl performance, just the whole Rose Bowl day was such a hype. Like we got up, it's Rose Bowl day, everyone rehearsed so hard and the vibe was just so high and we were all like building on each other. And then we get there and the venue is beautiful and the weather was nice and the audience was like crazy. They were just they really, you could tell they were there to give us energy too. Like they weren't just there to watch us do something. It was like a back and forth thing and the energy was great. That was like my favorite show of California, I think.
Yeah, that was a good one. I think one of my favorite memories is we had a rehearsal day in, what's that high school called? It was at Oswego, New York. Yeah, Oswego High School. We had our ensemble and the entire stands were filled with like people and the band boosters like opened the concession stands and like we set up like our merch booth and it was like a whole event and like we had our like ensemble and every like little tiny rep we would do, like the entire crowd would lose it and like someone would give a compliment like from the box and the crowd would just lose it. It was just like the most fun energy ever. And we finished our ensemble and we like played our encore tunes for them and it was like super sweet and fun. And I remember like after we finished like loading the truck and getting everything packed up, there were several high schooler percussionists and stuff that were coming up to the snares and people in the pit and they're taking pictures with us and just sign their drum heads and stuff. And they're just so sweet. They're like, we're just here rehearsing, but we're inspiring all these other people. And all these people are just like random Wednesday night came over to the high school to watch all of us rehearse. And I don't know, I thought it was super cool and super special.
Did you guys feel like celebrities?
Oh yeah. Like I'm just Clara. I promise I'm not all that. I'm just Clara.
I know. I had so much energy that ensemble because like everything we did, they were like, yay!
Yeah.
You're like sitting there, toss a single, like
right.
Meltdown from the crowd. So what was the most challenging thing from the whole summer, you feel like?
Well,
Sounds like there was a lot of
No,
challenges.
the early season was really challenging because I have never learned so fast. We got the show done in 2 weeks.
Oh wow,
And like
that is
the
fast.
closer was obviously not done because that wasn't going to be the closer we started tour with. We learned the original Interstellar closer at spring training, and it wasn't fully filled with choreo. But if I don't know how long that closer was. It was like 2 minutes and 30 seconds. 2 minutes was full of choreo, and so we learned the show in 2 weeks. I was not expecting it to be like that. I don't know. I knew that was what it was going to be because I knew the schedule, but I just didn't expect it to feel so fast. And like we would learn something and it would like the window between learning and goodness expectation was really slim. And like we would learn and it had to be ready fast, and we had to know it, and it was like in our bones and in our muscle memory like right then, because we just did not have time to mess around. And because we were gonna, as soon as we left Castleton University, we had the 5 days in Boston of like parades and stuff, so like it had to be done when we left, and that was really challenging. And then tour started, and it was like I finally was good at my show and like getting everything consistent.
And then they changed everything.
Right. And everything would change. And that was like stressful. But once we got past spring training, that like the spinning part of it kind of got less stressful. And that was like the performance became easier. And then like we left for tour, and obviously tour is hard because you have to move everything you own every other day, and you have to pick your life up and leave every other day or every day, and you're away from home and you don't have any of the normal things you would lean on for help. You don't have your family, you don't have your friends, and like that's what gets you so close with people at drum corps, is that you don't have what you normally would lean on, so you all have to lean on each other. But I'm trying to think. It was a hard season. I don't know. I can't fully explain, but it's just like you don't have the time to process things. You don't have the time to think and feel anything because you got rehearsal. You got turn this change. You got to take this part out and put this new part in. You got to switch your drill. We switched a lot of drill spots all the time, and it was just like you don't have time to think or feel. You just got to get back into rehearsal, focus all the time.
What about you, Clara?
I can't think of like any specific like moments, but I know there was like a span of like 4 days a few weeks ago where like everybody was angry, and I was like, why is everybody always angry? And it was because we had like several nights where we didn't have like a whole lot of floor time, and so like everybody in the corps was like running on very little sleep, and so everybody was like at each other's necks for like the span of 4 days, and I was like, can we please stop fighting? I understand why everyone's so angry. And like this summer I was the only girl in the front ensemble, and especially like
you were the only girl on the front ensemble?
The only girl in the front ensemble.
Oh
and
gosh, okay.
Yeah, initially like it was kind of hard to like connect with everybody else because everybody else was kind of like tiptoeing around me and was like afraid to like be themselves around me because they're like, oh, what if I say something wrong? And then it's kind of like hard to like get in there because usually, you know, like all the pit girlies become friends and everyone's friends and it's super easy. And I feel like that was kind of like an initial challenge. Like, where do I fit in and how do I like I promise I'm cool. I'm not like always cool, but I'm at least a little bit cool. So that was kind of like a challenge at first. And then every once in a while, like I said, everyone would just be angry. And I'm like, can we just stop being angry? Can we just calm down?
I wonder how much of that was like just like the masculine thing because you're like in a group of all men. Like
oh yeah.
I definitely remember that. I don't remember when it was, but I remember there was just like one of the nights the schedule just did not work and we left so much later than we meant to, and then we had a long buy stop for no reason. And
the Buc-ee's buy stop at 4 a.m.
No one wanted to go to the buy stop. I think it was like right when we started Texas, which is just optimal timing. So we, no one wanted to go to the bus stop. It was way longer than it needed to be, and we didn't get enough sleep at that, which wasn't really anybody's fault. It was just logistically.
Just what it was, yeah.
Everyone was just not pleased, and we were not doing the thing you're supposed to do where you bring each other up. We were all like,
everyone was just complaining about everything.
Everyone was just
I remember this day so clearly. Everyone was so angry about everything.
Okay, big one now. When did you know you were gonna win?
Never.
No, never.
Never? Really?
I thought at awards when we were sitting there, got the Zingali, got the Ott, got the Sanford, Bluecoats got general effect and visual. I had no idea who was gonna win.
No.
Really?
I was sitting there like, because I was replaying in my head. I was like, they're gonna say Boston second place. They're gonna say Boston second place, because I didn't want to be let down. I was like expecting. I was just like I was really expecting something bad, so I wouldn't be disappointed if it happened. But like,
gotcha.
I truly had
no.
I was not sure at all.
And there's that whole thing that everyone was saying. They're like, oh, whoever wins semis isn't going to win finals. And so when Bluecoats won semis, we're like, okay, we're up. But like, that was just like a joke. Like, I had no idea. It was so close. Like, it could have been either of us.
I remember
it was really close.
We won prelims, and then like right when we found out we didn't win semis, Dr. Viv, she, our doctor there, she came up to me and she was like, they're just stirring the pot. And I was like, calm down. I was like, hold on. But she was like, they want everybody to be invested. They're stirring the pot. And I was like, I'm not going to buy into this, but maybe.
You never know with those. They really go for the drama.
I was like, I'm not going to ignore that, but I'm not going to take that too seriously. I was like, maybe. And then we won. So
I remember,
was there ever a point during the summer where you felt like you could win? Like, oh, this is the show. This could happen.
I remember after San Antonio, like, we found out that we won San Antonio and everyone was just losing it. And we're like right next to, like, the pit's still loading. And we're like right next to like the Bluecoats truck. And so we're like, we need to be chill. We need to be cool. It's not a big deal. We're cool. But we're all just like screaming and freaking out. Like, this has never happened before. We've never done this before.
Were you guys friends with the Bluecoats on tour whenever you saw them? Or was there a rivalry behind the scenes too?
Two of my best friends in the whole world are in the Blue Pit. So it was super nice seeing them all summer. But yeah.
We had, hold on. I think it was five. Either it was, I'm losing track. I think we had 5 girls from the Woodlands High School at Boston, and at Boston Guard, and who had just won in 2024 or 2025 WGI with Departures. So but 6 of those girls did drum corps, and the one that didn't come to Boston went to Bluecoats, and they were all best friends. So there was obviously some super lighthearted, fun rivalry between all of us, and we were all a friend group. And it was like me and Mason, all of the Woodlands girls, we were all friends. So there was a friendly competition. It was not real though. I mean, we were like, we're gonna get you next time, but it was a joke. It was all fun. It was very friendly.
That's so sweet. That is so sweet. Well, congratulations again, you guys. This is amazing. Jack and Clara from the Boston Crusaders. We're going to send it back right now, and we'll see you in a minute, so don't go anywhere. So what was one of your just absolute favorite memories that you have?
There was this day that the whole guard, I guess, woke up on the wrong side of the bed, and we were all just not feeling it. We just did not.
I feel like that wouldn't be my favorite.
Like, I woke up and I didn't have the like fire. I just was not doing very well, and we just all were kind of pooped. And Heather Graham pulled us all in and brought us all in real close, and she was like, come closer, I don't bite. And we were all getting a pep talk, and I was just kind of, and she was like, guys, just catch your stuff. It's not that complicated. She was like, just do good. She was like, you guys are so good. Just catch your stuff. And we were all like, she's kind of right. And we all go back out on the field and have the best rehearsal of the season. Like, hands down. And it was so stupid because she was just like, do better. And we were like, oh. And then everybody's smacking everything. We're like, ha! And like, feet, we're like, we tossed the 7 before the big exchange around the drum feature in the opener. And we're like, straight up, straight down, no feet moving, like smacking everything. And she's like, is this all I had to do this whole summer is tell you guys to be good? I didn't even have to do my job. She was like, I could have just told you to be good and it would have been easier than this. Because all she said was, just catch your stuff, just do good. And we were like, oh, yeah. And it was the best rehearsal of the whole season.
And then you won the Zingali Award.
And then we won.
There you go. Oh my gosh, those are some great stories, you guys. It's amazing. One more time, I want to say congratulations to the Boston Crusaders, to Jack and Clara specifically for winning the DCI World Championship this year. It was amazing to watch the whole adventure through the eyes of the performers posting on social media. What an experience. Thank you, everybody, for a great rehearsal this week. I hope you've all loved this bonus episode. Thank you to our DCI correspondents, not just for today, but for keeping in touch and sending us all of your content throughout the summer. So thank you to Davis J, Omari Holaki, Jack Hawkins, and Clara. And guys, I hope we get to do this again. This has just been so amazing. And Zoe, thank you so much. I know we didn't get to do our wrap-up interview, but we are going to make sure everybody has all of your social media accounts so they can go and follow all of our DCI correspondents whenever they get the chance. They will also be tagged on all of their own content. So if you go to the On a Water Break Instagram or any of our social media, you should be able to find them as well. So if you have a good question or a good topic to talk about, email us at onawaterbreakpodcast@gmail.com. You can also find all of our social media at onawaterbreak. DM us if you want to be on the show, or you can fill out the form if you want to be a guest. We love, love, love having new people fill that out. Check out our link in bio and then fill that out, send it in to us. You could also pull out your phone, take a social media video, and send it to us, and maybe we'll include it in one of our future episodes. One more thing, don't forget we have a YouTube channel. That's where you can see all of our episodes as video episodes. You can get to know us. You can see how we look versus just hearing us on the podcast. And then, of course, make sure you subscribe, write us a review, share this episode with a friend, follow us on all of our social media, and we'll see you at the next rehearsal on a water break.
The On a Water Break podcast was produced by Jeremy Williams and Christine Ream. The intro and outro music was produced by Josh Lyda. To learn more, visit lydamusic.com. And until next time, thanks for tuning in.